All right, let's just wait a little while for everyone to come back. Okay, you mean the last part of the question? Yes. Right. So what you're gonna do, what this question asks for is to do a query to determine the schools that have fewer than 500 students. And they're going to do the query in a table format. So the output of this query would be the R code, the school name, and the number of students. Just hold on a couple seconds for persons to join back. All right, yes. So I'm just going to go back to the question there a bit. The question is, complete the following query to determine the the schools that have fewer than 500 students. So the output of the query would be the R code, the school name, and number of students, right? But how you have to approach this question is you need to fill the cell under the appropriate field with the criteria. And in this case, the criteria will be the number of students are less than 500. So what you're going to do is you will do a less than sign and put 500, right? Now, I just want to go back to see real quick. State the R code and school name that will be at top of the table if the school table was sorted in descending order. So first in descending order by R code, and then in descending order by school name. Right? So the question is descending order by R code and then school name. So if we store this table in descending order by R code, the schools with code S will be to the top. Everyone agrees with that? Yeah, anyone doesn't see that? No? Okay. So school with R code S will be to the top. And then by school name, the school starting with letter T would be to the top. All right. Everybody okay with that? Yeah? Okay, good. Right. So the answer for that would have been um, uh, True South High School. Yeah. Okay, so we have another question here. This is January 2017 question. The question is as follows. Consider the following table, which consists of a sample of items in a supermarket, their cost, and corresponding barcode. Okay, complete the following database structure for the table above. So I want you all to take a couple of minutes and do part A for this question. Okay, so in this database, you have 3 fields: item, cost, and barcode. I want you all to fill it in with the data type. All right. Any answers or suggestions for the data types for the field names? You can put it on the chat. So what do you all suggest? What data type you think is appropriate for the item, the field name item? Okay, so let's see, someone said short text. So yes, text or short text, that is an appropriate data. For the cost, currency, yes, definitely. How about the barcode? Anyone wants to take a guess as to what the data type for the barcode should be? Yes, text is also a good option for the barcode, right? So yeah, so some appropriate answers would be item, text, cost, currency, and for the barcode, you could use text also, right? As I said before, you could view your Microsoft Access to see different types of data types. Okay, moving on to the next part of the question. State the field that could be used as a primary key. So I'm going to go back up to the table. What field in this table is appropriate to be used as a primary key? Remember, the primary key field should contain values that are unique for each entry. Yes, the barcode, based on what we're saying here, is should be unique, right? Because you may have water from another vendor, right? Or some orange juice from another vendor. So barcode seems to be the most unique option. A suitable size for the barcode field. Going back up. Size, right? Because remember, let me just share Microsoft Access. If you put a field as text, there is the option to have a field size. And this option is very important because how the database works when you have records in the tables is actually going to reserve space based on the field size. So if this field size was 200, you will be reserving space for 200 characters. But if your data is generally set, say, up to 20 characters, then you're actually wasting space in your database table, right? So what is an appropriate size for the barcode field, right? What is this appropriate size? Anyone wants to? 10, yes, so 10 is a good answer. The fields are, all the fields here are 6, but you could consider a value slightly larger in the event you run out of barcodes and you need to increase the size of your field. So I'll say 10 is something reasonable. 6 based on the data we have, but that's fine, right? 10. Okay. Next question. The result of a query that finds all items that cost less than $5. So you're going to run a query on this table and you want to know all the items that are less than $5. What would be output in your query? Right? Remember, it is the result of the query that finds all items. So you're going to find all items that cost less than $5. What would be the result of that query? Okay, remember the question. Finds all items that cost less than $5, right? So in this question, they're not asking for a sum, right? They're asking for actual items. And if you look at the cost, they cost $6.50, $8.25, $4, and $5. So less than $5, only one item actually costs less than $5, and that is the water, right? So the answer for that is the water. Okay. The fourth part of the question, the field name and order of the sorted records in the table, right? So based on this table, what is the field name used to sort the records, and what is the order in which the record is sorted? So there are two things. The data in this table are sorted in some way. What is the field name used to sort the records, and in what order? So first, let's address the first part of it. What is the field name used to sort the records in this table? Anyone wants to guess which field name is used to sort the records? So when we say sort, it's like, for example, we had your first name and um, age. Yes, yes, so correct. So the barcode. The barcodes field seems to be what is used to sort the record. And in which order? Which order is the record sorted? So to give you a hint on this, when they speak about the order, correct, yes. So descending order, right? So when they speak about order, they want to know either ascending order or descending order. And descending order, because you have the later letters first, you have X, M, D, and E, right? So good. That's the answer to that question there. Right. All right. So we have another question. The staff welfare department of an organization has prepared the following database table showing employees who will receive long service awards this year. The database table is named service. Okay, so we have one table with 4 fields: employee number, department, years, and award. The first part of that question, state the data types for the years and employee number fields in service table. What do you all think should be appropriate data types for the years field and the employee number field? Okay, yes, you could use the data type number for years. That's good. And for employee number, yes, text, short text, um, because you have a combination of characters and numbers. So those are two appropriate data types, right? Okay, let's move on. The records in the service table were sorted in ascending order on the award field. State the employee number of the record that will be at the top of the sorted table. Okay, so I'm just going to go back to the table and I'm going to repeat the question for you all. The records in this table were sorted in ascending order on the award field. State the employee number of the record that would be at the top of the sorted table. Right, A100. And how you do that is you're sorting the table based on the award field, right? And the values in the award field are cash, medal, and certificate. So the records to the top of this table will have the award of cash, right? And out of these records, so you have 1, 2, 3, 4, the employee number at the top of these will be A100. Okay, everybody clear on this?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay, good. Right. The next part of the question, identify 2 fields that could be used to report, or 2 fields that could be used to group the records in a report. So if you're creating a report with this table, what 2 fields could you use to group records? Right, so remember, first of all, in order to group records, you need to use fields that have multiple records. So the best way to, one way to look at it, start looking at it is, which fields actually repeat values? And is you see the department has multiple departments, but there are repetitions, so there are multiple agriculture department, or there are multiple employees in the agriculture department, library, maintenance sciences, and the awards we just mentioned, they are different categories. So 2 appropriate fields that could be used to group the records in a report would be department and award, right? Okay, so everyone okay on that? All right. Still on this question, state the most appropriate field which could be used as the primary key and the reason for your choice. Okay, so I'm going to go back up to the table, and the question is, state the most appropriate field that could be used as the primary key for this table and the reason for your choice. So it's 2 parts. Very important when answering the questions. Always keep in mind the number of marks allocated to the question. So you write your answer to suit. Okay. So the question is, again, state the most appropriate field which could be used as the primary key and the reason. So you have to put your answers in the chat. Right? Yes, so employee number. Employee number is what could be used, and the employee number is unique for each record, meaning it's not repeated. And we see that, right? So there's A100, A200, B100, C100, etc. So good. That's that part of the question there. Right. And part E, a query was created to show all employees with more than 20 years of service. How many records will be displayed when the query is executed? All right, so I'm going to go back up to the table. And the question, a query was created to show all employees with more than 20 years of service. How many records will be displayed when the query is executed? Right. So good. Yes. So important about the question speaks about a query to show all employees, right, with more than 20 years of service. but remember, they want to know how many records. So in a situation like this, you will not list the record itself, but the count. So we see here you have 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 5, right? So we have 5 records when the query is executed. Okay, any questions based on this? No? All right. To keep in mind, when doing these questions, you will, in revising, again, you could use the Microsoft Access to validate some of your answers. For example, things like the data types and the available data types, definitely. You could use that. You could also simulate certain tables, right? So you could create a service table and then run some queries, etc. Now, what I want you all to do as part of this slide set, there is a past paper question I would like you all to attempt for homework. Right, so it's the last couple of slides, and there is a question based on a cricket club. What it's saying is the cricket club, Star Cricket Club, keeps a file on its players. Some of the information stored on each member is as follows. So it has some information on players, their member ID, surname, first name, date of birth, and email address. And the question is as follows. So the first thing is the key that could be used as the primary key. When they say the key, basically they mean the field, the data type used for the date of birth field, the surname of the member with member ID 003, how many members were born before the 19th of October in 94, right? So you see the questions seem to be a little similar. You know, they're asking about primary keys, they're asking about data types, they're asking about queries. The last part of the question is write one additional field that will be appropriate for inclusion in the file, and 2, the criteria to find the member with a surname, right? So you all go ahead and you all attempt this for homework when I send the slide back. Any questions based on the database management questions we did? Everybody clear? All right. So let me just pull up. All right, so as I mentioned before, you will be getting questions based on the different productivity tools, right? And that will include the word processing and web page design. Okay, so I'm just pulling up some questions from that. Right. Okay. The next thing I want to look at is are some questions as it relates to word processing and web page design. So let's go back to the specimen paper, and this should look familiar, right? So we looked at this before in the database. Elaine wants to place her gluten-free recipes on the internet and access them using a web address. She wants users to register in order to access her recipes and plans to store the information in an online database. She also needs to manage any emails and interact with her online clients when the recipes are uploaded, right? So the first thing is a user searches for Elaine's recipes and locates the following output. right? So this is how her web page looks. Now use the layout above, right? So this website, and we go through it one by one. The general name given to this type of page, right? So if someone goes to Elaine's website and they come up with this page, so they go to bakinwithelaine.com, what do you call this type of page or the general layout? Generically, what would you call it? So you go to Google and you get the Google search page, right? You go to CTS's website and you get their page with that comes up. What do you call that page? That first page? Any ideas? Yes, so you call that page the home page, right? So that's how you're going to refer to that first page. The second part to this question is to state a web address. So looking at this, I'll zoom in a little more. Looking at this, what is a web address? You put your answers in the chat. Right, http://www.bakinwithelaine.com. That is a web address. There's also another web address on this, and that is forbeacon.com. Right, so any one of those would have been correct. The third part of the question is state an email address. So given this output, this screenshot, state an email address. Right, Elaine@forbeacon.com. That is an email address. Does anyone see any other email addresses? No. Well, in the given example, there's only one, right? So that's the email address. Now the fourth part of the question. State a hyperlink. What would be a hyperlink on this page? Remember, a hyperlink is, or a hyperlink will take you to another web page or to a different part in the same web page. So based on what we could see, the hyperlinks are the email address. This is a hyperlink, and the video address here, forbeacon.com. Right? So those are valid hyperlinks. Everyone is okay with reading the web page? Yes? Okay. Right? So these are the answers here. You can review later. All right. So we have a question here, a word processing question, right? Read the extract below and answer the questions that follows. Right. So we have an extract based on digital forensics, an integrated approach, and it's an abstract. So I'll just read it quickly. As cyber crimes become more pervasive in today's society, governments and private entities grapple with the need to implement control systems. Legislation, policies, and guidelines are rapidly being developed by Parliament and boards in an effort to stop these crimes from spiraling out of control. Digital forensics and, to an extent, e-discovery have become an integral part of the enforcements in tackling these cybercrimes. The rapid evolution of digital devices has had a significant impact on the digital forensics community, with digital crimes evolving just as rapidly. Court proceedings worldwide are now encountering a number of cases where, despite their focus and origin, some form of digital evidence is involved. So part of the question is they give you this paragraph to look at, and the first thing they're asking is to state 3 formatting features used in the document. So what are 3 formatting features you see in the document? Okay, so there, yes, so definitely bold. Bold is one. We see digital forensics, integrated approach. The title of the paper is bold. Italics, yes. Abstract is italicized, and underlined. So yeah, we see something here looking like an underline. So why not? And font size, definitely, right? So we see a difference in the font size. Any of those 3 would have been correct. The underline one is a bit questionable, but you'll see why in a little bit, right? So the second part to the question, the number of paragraphs after each of the following tasks are performed. So what I want you to do is, based on the document, to state the number of paragraphs after you perform the following actions on each one, right? So the first action, paragraph 2 is moved below abstract as the new paragraph 1. And the second one is paragraph 1 is copied and placed below paragraph 1. So in these 2 instances, what will be the number of paragraphs after performing these actions? Right? So you have to tell them the number. So right now there are 2 paragraphs. How many paragraphs will there be when paragraph 1 is moved below the abstract as the new paragraph 1? So the answer for the first question is 2. And that is because they move the paragraph, right? So they cut and paste in this case. The second part of the question, paragraph 1 is copied and placed below paragraph 1. What would be the answer for that? Right. So the answer for the second question is 3, because they are copying and placing the paragraph. So in an instance like this, you have to pay attention to the wording of the question, right? And based on the wording, the first part of the question, the paragraph was moved. So move means cut and paste. And as you all know, when you cut and paste, you actually delete the paragraph or delete the content and then you put it somewhere else. And the second one, where the paragraph one is copied and paste. When you copy and paste, you do just that. You make a copy of it, you leave the content there, and then you put the content somewhere else. So you're adding, right? So the answer would be 2 paragraphs and 3 paragraphs. Now, regarding the underline, so they're asking why is it the word spiraling is underlined by the software? So why do you think this word spiraling is underlined? So based on that, it doesn't seem that they underline this intentionally, right? So why would spiraling be underlined? Yes, that is a good option, hyperlink. It could be that spiraling is used as a hyperlink. Any other suggestions for that? Right? Another reason why a word could be underlined in general is if the word is incorrect, okay? So if there's a spelling error. So it could be that it's spelled incorrectly or a hyperlink. Okay. Part B to that. Using the search and replace option, all occurrences of cyber are to be changed to cybercrime. State the result after this change. So I'm going to go back to the paragraph and I'm going to repeat the question, right? Using the search and replace option, all occurrences of cyber are to be changed to cybercrime. What will happen after you do this? Sure. Using the search and replace option, all occurrences of cyber, that is the word cyber, are to be changed to cybercrime. State the result after this change.